Hi, Ariana.
Hi, Greg.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderfully. I'm so glad you had time to talk to me today.
You too. Thank you.
So, let's say hi. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up and stuff?
I'm from Philly, so I just came to California like in August. So I've been here like for the whole entire year pretty much.
Wow, great.
Yeah. And then I go to school in New Hampshire. So I'm all over
You
the
go.
place. Dartmouth.
Oh, cool. I love Dartmouth.
Oh, really?
Beautiful
Some
school.
people don't know what Dartmouth is.
Well, I'm a squash player, and my kids are squash players, and they had a lot of tournaments up there, both for old people and for kids.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful, beautiful campus too. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's my favorite part. How are you? Where are you from?
I'm from Long Island. I grew up there. Now I'm in around New Haven, around Yale,
Cool.
and that's just moved up here about 8 months ago. So
Oh,
going great.
do you like
But I
it?
miss the water. You know, being close to. I'm from the Long Island, which is surrounded by water. Of course, it's an island. But also, I lived out in the East End in Southampton area for 10 years. And on one side, 10 minutes away, you have the ocean, and 5 minutes away, you have the bay where I go racing. I sail boats. So it was really nice to be, surrounded by water. But here in New Haven, there is just a coast and really not that much sailing, considering that they have this whole coast there. It's
Hmm.
sort of interesting.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's cool.
So how'd you get into rugby?
So in high school, one of my like a high school coach came to my school and they like set up a stand. Like you know how they set up stands to like join a club and stuff. So
Yeah.
me and my best friend we signed up and then she was just like, "Oh, we're going to breakfast today." And I was like, "Okay." So then we went and it was like only up from there. I just fell in love with the sport.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And what makes it so appealing to you?
I think so. I used to run track, and track for me was like boring, kind of like you just run in straight line. It was just races.
Yeah.
But then rugby, I felt like I could still be able to use my speed, and then also while playing. So it was like it gave me more of a like a better dynamic, and it was also a little bit physical. I mean, it was a little bit physical in high school at the time. Now I'm at this level, and it's just like I had to step up my physicality like times 10. So
Wow.
definitely a whole different level now. So
So are you doing a lot more weight training and stuff to keep up your
yeah.
physicality? Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
What about speed? Are you also still working on your speed and doing a lot of running and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I should probably be working on my speed more. But right now I am the fastest, but I need to work on my speed more to get faster. So we
Wow.
don't really have that aspect here, really. So I have to figure that out myself pretty much.
Wow, that's interesting. I'm surprised they haven't worked on that.
Yeah. Like we have speed sessions, but they're not like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're like, they're not specific enough, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well,
It
it's got
should
to
be
be
more
harder
general.
because you're running out of a scrum or doing things a lot differently than you would if you're doing a track race. So
Mhm.
it's there's a lot of agility
Yeah.
involved and turning and that kind of stuff as well, and then dodging out of people's way and stuff.
Yeah. So we do a lot of that. And like in our speed sessions, a lot of agility and cuts and all that. That's helpful for sure.
I bet it is. That's great. Now you're playing on natural turf, right? Pretty much all the time.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Do you find it? Have you tried it? Have you played on artificial turf as well?
Um, I have in in college, I mean.
Uh huh.
Yeah, but not here. We just play on grass.
That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
So, are the cleats different from other field sports? What
We
makes it?
play we use regular soccer cleats.
Uh huh.
Yeah, but if you're like in the scrum, then I think they wear like metal cleats sometimes. Yeah, I think they do. But
Wow.
I wear regular soccer cleats, nothing special.
Uh huh. Well, that's lovely. That's good. So, okay. So, What are you doing as far as training now? You're in Chula Vista training?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And are you on the main squad, or how does this work? Because there's so many players that roll in and out of the team.
Yeah, so there's 20 of us right now. Um, and then basically we have tournaments like we're going to Dubai next week. So basically sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 15 get picked for those tournaments. So like you have to play your best, do the best, and then you just decide if you get picked or not. If you don't get picked, you stay back and you keep training. And if you
Wow.
do get picked, you go to Dubai.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Like
pretty
you're going to be
intense.
picked because you're the fastest person on the team and you're like the star, right? So,
I wish it was that easy, but my tackling, like remember I said like my physicality, but it wasn't there. So I had to get that up because they just went to Spain and I didn't make that one.
oh wow.
So I had to stay back and work on my tackling and work on it was my tackling. Like I wasn't making them. I was scoring as many points as I was getting scored on. So it's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
but I'm better now. So
So what did you have to work on? Like like how you grab people and how you like
yeah,
just
pretty
knock
much
them
my
over,
tackling
or
technique. Like the tackling technique, like I had to get I was like tackling up high, like trying to wrap people from up here, but you got to go at the knees, the ankles. And
yeah.
that was really scary for me because I had surgery on my shoulder. So it's kind of like a mental block thing as well. So I had to work on getting over that. So I had like 3 weeks to really work. And I think it definitely made a difference for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you have a team sports psychologist or a personal sports psychologist, or how did you do that? How did you overcome that hurdle?
Yeah. Sports psychologist, we have one. He's the one who like identified that I was having a mental block because we
Wow.
were like talking through it. So it's very helpful in getting over it for sure.
That's
Yeah.
really interesting. Is that was a team sports psychologist?
Hmm.
Uh-huh. Now about physios, do you have athletic trainers there that are giving you like massages and all the stretching stuff and all the other stuff to keep
Yeah.
yourself healthy?
Yep. Whenever we need, we feel a pain, we go to them and they just work it for us or,
Wow,
yeah, anything.
that's great. So what happened to your shoulder? How'd you hurt it?
In high school, I went to like try to reach for a tackle and like it just dislocated. So I had to get surgery on that. And then I was out for like a year and then I
Wow.
came back and I thought I was better. Well, in college, it's much easier to tackle people because they're not running at that the speed is just not the same.
Right.
So then I come here and I have to tackle people when they're going just as fast as I am. And I'm like, whoa, that looks painful. In my head, I'm just like, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it's one of the things that I found whenever I went from like the high school to college and then up
Yeah.
from there, the people just keep getting better and better. And you weed out the people who are normal or lesser, and all of a sudden you're talking about a bunch of stars at that level moved up. And then
Yeah.
the stars from that level moved up, and you're playing with, the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
And
It's
especially
crazy.
international competition, that's really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Scary.
So
Ugh.
is rugby in the Pan Am Games, or is it just the Olympics?
Yeah. We went to Pan Am's. I went to Pan Am's in Peru and yeah, we got like second place actually. That's where I got my first ever medal.
Wow.
And then it's in the World Cup for 15s, not sevens, and then the Olympics, and then like we play in the World Series also.
Wow.
Yep.
And what about seven? How is that as opposed to straight up rugby?
Sevens is for faster people, and then 15s is for like bigger people who like to really hit and take it up in the middle. And yeah, sevens were just speeding by each other, quick rocks, and yeah, it's not as physical as 15s, I would say for sure. Yeah,
What do you prefer, sevens?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
Gosh, yeah,
figured. If you're fast, you want to be in sevens.
yeah.
That's cool. So, tell me about USA Rugby. How they are they helping you a lot with all the stuff that you have to do to prepare, and while you're at school and all the rest of the stuff, or how does that work?
Yeah. They're pretty helpful. I mean, my college coach help like she's more on my like school side rather than the USA Rugby coaches, but they're pretty flexible when it comes to like a lot of stuff. So like if I was in school, they were like when I was in school actually, they were like flexible about adjusting the schedule to what I needed, and I thought it was great. And they do try to make sure we like have jobs on the side and are doing the like goals outside of sport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's great. And what's your major in school?
Economics right now.
That was my major too. I loved it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me, so I might have to like modify it with something because my GPA isn't like up there, so it's just kind of stressful. But I do like learning about economics and stuff, but I might have to switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got other things to concentrate on right now, so
Yeah.
that's okay. So you're planning on being in the Olympics this year and hopefully in 24 too, right? That's gonna be in LA. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Oh, 24 is in Paris and then 28 is in
Right,
LA.
28's in LA. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll be here till 28, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. You probably
Really,
pretty old for that kind of thing.
I,
by then.
I mean, there's some girls here who are 30, so
Oh
you
wow.
know, yeah. Those are the seniors. They're like their spot's pretty like guaranteed. So yeah.
Well, if you make it there, that
Um,
wouldn't be too bad.
yeah.
So in 2020, were you ready to go when they decided to cancel, push them off till this year, or were you like psyched to play in 2020?
I wasn't even considered for 2020. So
Oh,
basically I'm only here because of COVID. Yep.
ah,
Yeah. Because I was doing online school while training here, but I couldn't do both because I was stressed. So I just took the year off and then now I'm just like fully committed to 2021 Olympics trying to get there.
wow, that is so cool. So it really worked out well for you.
Yeah.
That's great.
It only will work out well if I make it. If not, I guess it's still learning experience, I guess.
Well, yeah, it is. Anything you're doing with the Olympic team is fantastic, and
Sure.
to be in there, to be in the mix, is what it's all about.
Hmm.
Because there are going to be there are millions of people who play it, and there are maybe 10,000 people who are playing in college, and then there are only, as you said, only 40 or 50 people who are playing it at your level here in the United States.
That's pretty
That
true.
so that's pretty special. That's you pat yourself on the back for that one. That's really good. With your good arm, not with your bad arm. So that's really great. Yeah, I found that economics was really good for what I ended up doing. One was I was investment manager for about 20 some odd years, and then I ran my own business, and then I'm doing this, and that helps a lot too because when I was in, it went from economics to working in the investment field, and I specialized in tech portfolios. So now that I'm building a website for athletes, it makes a lot of sense. It just all
That's
meshes.
so insane. That's literally, I want to be like I used to want to be an investment banker, but um, then like I realized that it wasn't what I thought it was because they're like, it was a completely different thing than what I thought it was. So, but I am like interested in different ways that you can invest money. But I don't know what kind of job that is. But before going into Dartmouth, I wanted to be like in a business field, and economics was the closest. So that's how I ended up in economics.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you said, like, I guess it's probably the closest I can get to business, right? Because you said it helped you in your like building your like your site, right?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I also did a lot of stuff in tech before. I started before, believe it or not, I'm so old that they didn't even have monitors for computers back when I started. And this
Oh, I
is
love it.
it was like
Like,
you typed in first of all you typed in information that you wanted the computer to translate into something it does. And either you had these cards with holes in them or you had this tape with holes in it, and you ran it through this reader and went to this mainframe, which is about the size of a house at one of the local schools. Like in Long Island, it's Stony Brook. So you would run it through telephone. Well, first of all, you have this massive box that has this roll of paper in with holes on the sides, and that also has the readers in it that it could translate from cards. So you ran the cards through, and then you wait for a couple of minutes, and the paper starts going, and it pops out the answers. So there was
Wow.
nothing like a display or anything. It was unbelievable. It was the dark ages,
Wow.
and yeah, it was ridiculous. And so we were doing stuff when I was a kid. Is when we started doing that stuff, and we were making the computer play tic tac toe with us and checkers, and that was really radically ahead of its time because nobody had done that before. So that was cool.
Wow.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I know that just tells you how old I am. Okay, so
Wow.
you grew up in Philly, and now you're going to Dartmouth, and right now
Mhm.
you're spending all your time in Chula Vista, which is so beautiful.
Yes.
And you're a very lucky person to be there doing that. That's incredible. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing. It's a
Okay.
website that's built to handle all the needs that we can't get met in the real world. Like it's so hard if you're not involved in rugby yet and you're thinking about being into rugby, you have no idea where to go, where the teams are, what kind of leagues there are, what physical elements are involved, and you don't know where to get your cleats or where to find a team, what a rugby ball is in the first place because they don't even sell them anyplace. It's again, it's really hard to be connected with any sport other than the top 4 or 5 sports here in the United States.
Mhm.
And rugby really is in a major growth pattern right now because they just became a Olympic sport.
Yeah.
So rugby's going, which is really cool. And I've seen it. If you think about all the other sports that have come up, fencing got really big all of a sudden. Squash got really big all of a sudden, mostly because the juniors got involved, and it was a great way to get into a good college. And now
Mhm.
rugby, the same thing. It's a great entree into college because there's so few rugby colleges right now.
Right.
And it's a great thing for the youth, and it's a great thing for the sport to watch all of a sudden a lot of interest coming into it.
Mhm. I
And
agree completely.
and that's like with every sport that's coming up. Even if you think about soccer back in the 90s or the 80s, no one played soccer. There was like 5 million people who played soccer. Then it was 10 million. By the time 2005 came around, it was about 15 million. Now they're like 25 or 30 million people playing soccer because it just kept growing. It's an international sport. And as we got more international here in the United States, the sport came along with it. And
Mhm.
what's really interesting is the sports that are international that are played here are teeny weeny sports, but overseas they're massive. For example, cricket's the biggest sport, second biggest sport around the world other than soccer.
Wow.
And
I didn't know.
there's like so few people who play cricket here in the United States. There aren't even cricket stadiums. So, and they have their own stadium. It's sort of round as opposed to like a baseball diamond. And if you watch cricket on YouTube, it's sort of I'd say interesting. Some people might call it nutty, but it is. You throw the ball at the ground and it bounces up, and the other guy has to swing at it with this flat bat. It's really interesting, and people stand behind it because if you hit the ball and it goes behind you, it's still in play. So
Wow.
it's sort of
Yeah, I
wacky,
never looked.
but it's cool, and it's an old sport. And when it started in the United States back when the English came over here in the 1600s and the 1700s, and and Ben Franklin and George Washington played it. So that's how old it is.
Wow. Yeah, I did not know that. Wow.
Nobody knows that. It's one of those teeny sports. And that's the whole point, is that as we get more into these international sports, we need a place to be. Those sports need to grow. They need to play a platform to grow and to connect with each other. And when I first started fencing, for example, I didn't think there were more than maybe a couple thousand people who fenced. Turned out that there were about a million, million and a half people who fenced in the United States. And same thing with all the others. I've always played lower profile sports because I'm not a big guy. I'm only 5'8". So basketball, nah. Football, nah.
Yeah.
Even baseball. In baseball, most people who play baseball are 6 feet or above. So I always gravitated toward the lower sports. I'm a lower guy, and so it's just interesting. Um, But as those sports grow, we need a place here in the United States and around the world, actually, where you can catch that community and help them grow individually. And the idea of bringing someone like you on board, which is so cool, is that you can run this community and make sure that all the proper content is sitting on the site. And you're basically curating everything. You're curating the news, the blogs, what videos we can put up for skills and drills and training and coaching, and then competition videos. You can find the best competition videos and make sure that we're getting all the best of that. And your connection with USA Rugby helps us when we're talking to them about getting all their videos and all their training videos onto the site. So there are a lot of ways that you being at the top of the community on UBsports makes our presence in rugby fantastic and very interesting for a kid coming up in rugby. And like you're a prime example. You came up as a kid, you just stumbled upon it, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. And then you took it and ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do the same thing for kids who are doing the same thing at 12 or 13 and saying, what's this thing called rugby, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're into it and you're interested in being involved, it's we've built it so that it's really easy for you to be managing the community, and we're making it easier. We're just about to launch our new portal. Our new site is being launched in a month. So right now we're collecting new information. Like I would ask you, if you decided to do it, to make sure you have all the URLs for all of the news and the blogs, and then go on YouTube and find all the best skills and drills and training and speed and coaching videos there. And then the competition videos as well, whatever you can find there. And then when we get done with our back end, because we have a lot to do in that, it's really cool now, but it's going to be 10 times better when we get done with it in a couple weeks. Then I'd be asking you to load that up, and I'll teach you how to do it, or we'll teach you how to do it. We have a couple people who are the tech geniuses now who are doing it, and they would help you do it. If it takes you more than 2 hours, you're slow, because it's really easy. But then after that, it would take you maybe an hour or two a week, just making sure that you have the right content, that none of the videos shut off. Like they do that a lot on YouTube. They'll turn off a video if nobody's watching it, or if the people who published it don't want it up anymore, and they have to go and clean up that link. Then you have to answer questions. There are going to be, kids who are going to be saying, what kind of cleats should I buy? Or what kind of cleats do you use? And that kind of stuff. So those kind of things would be coming to you once in a while, and you'd be answering them. And we'd have you up. I do like an interview like this, but we'd have it for UBsports, and you'd be answering questions, and we'd have other people watching, and they'd be asking you questions too. So it'd be like a forum. Would be really cool to do.
That's really cool. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I've been working on this for so long, and to have it right here about to launch, it's super cool. And then have people like you on it, it's like it doors off.
That's amazing. Yeah, I feel like this would be perfect, honestly. There's no job I'd rather have, not even being dramatic. Like
Well, that's great to hear, because I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. You're like the star, so it makes sense.
Thank you.
Now, you're sponsored by companies?
So I can't get sponsorships because I'm still under NCAA.
College, yeah, that's right.
Sucks. Because I get offers to, like, if I make a pose for $100 and I can't do it because of that. So it's just very annoying.
That's actually changing a little bit. I have a friend down in Atlanta who is a lawyer, and he's done some work on what the NCAA says you can do and you can't do. Well, so there are ways around it. This is one of them, where you can work helping other people get good, but not really using your talents. Like you're not out there running or coaching or anything like that. But they also say the way I understood it from this guy is that you can actually coach and get paid for it without violating the NCAA and Ivy League standards and stuff. So what I'm really happy about, forget about all that. I'm glad you can do this. This is what I'm really trying to do.
Me too.
So what other questions should I ask you? Oh yeah, what kind of shoes do you use?
I Like specifically like Nike or
Nike,
I
you
wear oh, I wish I had them here. But yeah, I had Nike. I just got some new ones. They're recently Nike custom cleats. They have like my name on the side and
wow.
but they're yeah, I can get the exact name of them. They're like everyone actually on my team uses the same brand pretty much, like Mercurial or something.
Yeah,
But yeah, I can look. Yeah.
that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, I can get you the exact name if you need it though. And I'll
Yeah,
look into them.
it's just curiosity. I mean, I'm an Adidas guy, so my shoes are
Mm,
almost always Adidas.
mm.
So I know that I can buy size 9 Adidas shoes, no matter what style they are. I put them on and they fit great. So and they work and they last a good long time. But I tried this other pair about 3 years ago called Salming, Salming. I don't think they make cleats, but they make really good squash shoes and volleyball shoes and those kind of
Mhm.
things, and some running shoes that are really cool. But yeah, they're good, and those are the ones I have right now. But Adidas has shoes that I just love. They're fantastic. They're called the Stabiles, and they're Stabile. I think they're Stabile 12 now, and every year or two they'll come out with like Stabile 5, and then 6, and then 7, and they keep getting a little bit better. But the Stabile 12s, I think they are now, they're fantastic. They're really top.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's cool. So you're using Nikes, and that's really awesome. So, okay, I think that's all the questions I have. What else should I be asking you? What else do I need to know?
Mm, um, I don't know. I think that's it for now. Yeah, I think that's it for now.
Okay, that's cool. So if I really do think this is a phenomenal opportunity for us and for you.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be more fun for you as rugby gets bigger and as you get your name in the Olympics and
Mhm.
as people see you. How many people do you have followers right now on Facebook and LinkedIn or Instagram? And
So I use Instagram is pretty much my main platform. I have two accounts. One is Ariana the athlete, and then I have one that's like my personal account, like Ariana.Gabrielle. And then Ariana, my athletic page has 1,000 followers, and then my regular account has 3,000 followers.
wow. Now, why do you have so many in your regular account?
Because that one came first. I just recently made Ariana the athlete like last year. So yeah, I'm working on building that. That's where I like post all my videos and motivational quotes and updating my followers on like what I
Very
do.
cool. Now, do you make your own memes or you let somebody else make them and then you take them over?
I, I haven't gotten to that level yet of making memes.
You can use that's cool. And what's your favorite motivational quote?
Yikes, that's a great question. Um, Mine, I think it would be because I got to ask this question by my school, and they put this one on a poster by my face. It was what was it? You, oh, you aren't. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I can't think of the exact quote. It's basically you're not the problems or you're not the hurdles that you go through. It's how you overcome. It's not about the hurdles that you go through. It's about how you overcome them or something like that.
It's very cool. Very cool.
Thanks.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's one of my youngest kid used to always say, "I can't do something. I
Mm.
can't run that fast. I can't." And I was like, "Okay, there's one word in the world you cannot use, and that's can't. Can't say can't unless
Yep.
you say I can't yet, and then you're allowed
Mhm.
to say it."
Yep. That's the
So
only.
that's my thing.
I like
So all right, this is very cool. I'm very excited. I'm going to be sending you an email. What's your email address?
It's first and last name Ariana Ramsey. You can use pro at Ariana Ramsey Pro at gmail.com.
Cool. All right, Ariana. That's fantastic. I'll send you. It's just basically it's an ambassador agreement. It talks about what your rules are, what we'll be asking you to do. It's basically everything I just told you. And that'll be great. So we're gonna start getting all this stuff together like the first week in April, second week in April. But I'll be sending you the agreement right now, and I'm gonna ask you to. Do you do video blogs and that kind of stuff, or is it all written right now?
Oh, I can make videos. I have done that before in the past.
Cool. Because I have a couple of questions. Basically, it's all the stuff that I asked you today, but you can just read them and then answer to the video and send them to me or put it up on YouTube, and we'll cache it over here when you send me the URL for it. And then I'll put it up on UBsports, and we'll teach you how to start loading it up and getting the site and the portal going. And that would be fantastic.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. This is really, it's an honor for us. It really is fantastic.
Same here.
So very excited. All right. So if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me.
Okay.
And I'll send you my stuff later on today. I'm sending it actually to all the Olympic athletes. We have probably about 8 or 9 of them already
Wow.
lined up.
Nice.
And, yeah, we're trying to get like 1 or 2 from each sport.
Mhm.
And so having you on is absolutely perfect. Really excited.
Thank you. Thanks so
Thank you
much.
very much, Ariana. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.